TCP, as you will probably have heard of it before, is a file transfer protocol. And in line with what we discussed under module 14, is one of the examples of data that you might likely collect in your system, but those data are actually very volatile. Very volatile in the sense that network packet, as a matter of fact, is actually considered more volatile than your memory. Because not only is it hard to capture, right? They're changing so quickly. So in this class, we're going to cover how to analyze data over the wire. In order for you to analyze data over the wire, you have to understand the protocol. Right? In order for you to analyze protocol, you have to know what is normal about those protocols. Because if you don't know what is normal, then it's going to be really hard for you to understand or to identify when something is unusual. Right? Your guidance is knowing what is normal versus what is not normal. And you know, I've been working a lot on a lot of the job site lately, and really we do have, you know, I think I said it last week when we met, surprisingly, the highest employer in our field is actually banking, insurance, and finance. You know, which is a little bit surprising to most people, but in the field it's not really surprising. Which means this is going to be very, very key part, the cyber security part. You know, the threat analysis, the vulnerability assessment is going to be very key. The cops are all over what you're doing right now, right? But most of what we've been talking about in 27 class, they are foundational courses, you know, because it helps us. But beyond that, you actually have to understand some stuff that you really have to go to college to understand, right? TCP/IP is perhaps one of the most important, right? You have your TCP/IP. These operate at the network layer, right? And these operate at the transport layer, correct? You can almost say there are two types of computer. The host computer, right? And the network computer. Your network computer will be an example of a router, correct? And your host computer will be your regular computer, like your desktop, right? Workstation. Your IP helps to connect two networks together. Your TCP helps to deliver packet to the host. You understand? Your IP is used to connect two networks together. At the host level, your IP address actually is of less significance. As a matter of fact, your host in a LAN really doesn't use network, doesn't use IP address to talk. If I have a network this way, I have a host here, and I have another host here. This is the IP address 10.1.1.2, and this is 10.1.1.3. The MAC address, let's say 00, 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. And this is 0, 0, 06, 6, 07, 08, 09. 1, 2, 3, and then 010. Right? If that is the MAC address, And this is a router over here. When this guy wants to contact this guy is not going to just send a packet to this guy using IP address. The first thing this guy does is to send a broadcast within this network. It's going to say, I have a packet I want to send to this IP address. Who has this IP address? Well, if this machine uses IP address to send it, you don't need to ask for who. Right? If I come into this classroom and I say, I have a letter for, Castro or Calvin. Well, I don't need to ask who is Calvin if I know you. Right? I just bring it over to you or just send it to you. The fact that I'm asking means I don't know. Means I know the name, but I don't know, I can't deliver the letter to you just because I see the name. So this guy is going to send a broadcast using a protocol app, address resolution protocol. The blaster the network, this machine, if it's on this same local area network, will respond back and say, oh, my MAC address is this. And then this machine is going to send it to that MAC address. If this guy does not respond, right, then the router will pick it up and route it out of this network to the gateway. That is when the IP address becomes valid, becomes useful. Because with the IP address, the router can say, oh, well, this thing is not within our network, so we're going to route it out to the next gateway. And then the next router takes it and goes to the next router until it gets to the network that our IP address belongs to. And when it gets to that network, this router over here takes it and realizes, oh, it belongs to over here. A HARP message will be broadcast, will be sent on that network. The machine that owns it will respond with this MAC address, and there it is, you go. That's how they talk. TCP/IP is deep, we can't even begin to talk about it. In the Hacking 1 class, they deal in depth with these two protocols. And you understand if you don't know those two protocols, you actually don't even know much. For this particular class, we're going to be focusing a little bit on FTP. We're going to talk about FTP. We're going to go further and look at how to use Wireshark. We're going to look at how to use T-Shack. We're going to look at how to use cap info. We're going to look at Wireshark cap to text cap. We're going to look at TCP dump. What we're going to be doing is just, we're not even going to try to scratch the surface. We're just going to try to touch it, right? And hopefully, in your subsequent classes, you will, I wouldn't even advise anybody to go out into the industry without getting yourself a little bit grounded in the network forensic aspect. There's just so much they're asking that, you will feel cheated if you don't get that part into your toolbox. If you're going to the, public,